saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox.
Greetings humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everyone we have with us today, and find out once again who they are and who they're playing. And today we shall start with Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter, and I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Excellent. And now we are going to go over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I'm Arras, or Animus Panthera. My pronouns are she, they, and today I'm going to be playing Aroshka Ruzik, Aromatic Empath Apostate, who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and the character I play in this campaign is Mac the Husk, the established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits, and they use they, them pronouns.
Excellent. And now finally we will head over to Danielle. Hello.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character Vormera, aka Vor Vanas. Vor is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Excellent. Okay, well, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. At any time, you can type !ISCW in the Twitch chat, and that content warning will come up. It'll also be popping up on a regular basis as things roll through. Also, as a reminder, please remember we have an open door policy. which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. And so now we shall return to our to the Jenga Tower, as we've been calling it, the Foreman's Tower, in Saturnine in Fartown, where they our Vizsli currently are. Last time, they had just managed. Vor had led an effort to rescue the foreman from this sort of strange dimension type place called the Endless Machine, or the Unrelenting Engine, depending on what you like to call it. It is a place where the cultists, probably the Vespertine, masquerading as the Church of Midnight, are currently doing something diabolical, and they had been interrogating him, and they managed to get him out using magic. They were in the midst of negotiations with Mac's archenemy, Dark-Eyed Manfred, who was essentially trying to do a prisoner exchange. They, Shah Gamelon, among them, had a member of their organization, the Vespertine, trapped in a cage, a little cage, and they were going. The Vespertine apparently had sent Manfred to do to try to get a prisoner exchange, and but Vor managed to trick him into displaying the image, a direct live feed, as it were, to the foreman, because they wanted to see him to make sure that they actually had him. And when he did that, she took advantage of that to manage to pull him through the image into the park where they were negotiating. And at that point, that was like, Manfred was like, okay, well, that's sort of vanished at that point. After leaving a somewhat slightly cryptic warning about, I hope you've all checked out your houses. It's been a week's a long time to be away from home. So they started taking, but they knew also someone had been following them, as they started to try to move the foreman out of the park. Mac summoned an ice jaguar spirit to try to help be on the lookout for whatever might be following them. The spirit managed to point out where these beings were that were being used to hunt, to try to follow them. These sort of null creatures that cease to exist when you perceive them, and are often used as assassins or spies or thieves. They managed to find them. The Mac managed to injure one, and that is when the members of the Church of Midnight, who had were employing them, were like sort of there and ready, and basically were instructed to back off by their superior, a priest of the church, a fellow named Miterund, who a few of the members of the party knew. And also, it was suggested that this individual is known, is also might be known to Vor, and this is something we will get into in a little bit, perhaps, depending on where the conversations go. Basically, so he was like, okay, you made your point. He said to his fellow Church of Midnight, his fellow Midnighters, and sort of had them back off, and was like, okay, what are you doing? Why are you talking to Manfred? What's going on? Why did you throw one of our members off a train? And they were like, well, they were going to do something bad, and he was like, okay, fair, but he's not doing well. He went into the gray. We're gonna have to put him in the home of the forgotten. Because he came back babbling of having seen something weird, and so we're trying to figure that out. And they were like, okay, and so it was. They initiated a walk and talk while they were. Well, it was like, okay, well, we're basically, as they headed back to the tower. Miteran went ahead and agreed to head along with them because he wanted to find out what was happening, and he kind of knew some of them. The thing that they basically sort of managed to work out was that they explained to him that there are Vespertine spies in his organization, and they had one in a cage. And Miteran was like, "Okay, that's a very serious accusation. We're going to need to check that out. And do you want to go ahead and give me the prisoner so we can investigate that?" And he he was like, "Okay, I promise we'll go ahead and we'll cease our attacks on. We'll cease our they hadn't really attacked them yet." But it's like we'll cease our. I can't remember the term that he used, but we'll stop our efforts against you for now until we'll call a truce. We'll call a truce basically until we've had time to look into this. And so they did. They got to the tower. At the tower, they turned. Miteran actually went ahead and he left a little sort of kind of medical spirit there to kind of help monitor the foreman, but went ahead and they gave the prisoner over to Miteran, and he went off with said prisoner, and that's basically where we left off. They did do a check. They're now sitting still in the foreman's apartment. They've got the foreman sort of lying down in a hammock in probably the next room while they had this chat. They have been doing, Mac in particular who's been supervising this building, has been doing checks around to sort of see what they can figure out. He's been talking to a spirit named Switch, who is this sort of Tetris piece type spirit who can just sort of change from thing to thing. And they have thus far found that that it looks like there's some sort of bit of scrying that's been happening on the area. There's like there's like a scrying connection, sort of a spiritual connector, if you will, that's in there, but that's about it. That is actually something that last time, I believe at one point, Mac, you had your Testament of Suns out, and you were looking, trying to make use of it for it, and I was looking at some it's actually relatively recent episodes, and I realized that one of the abilities that it got recently is that it still had an asset in it, a skill that can be used specifically for sort of Tetrising things together, like this tower, which I think actually would have made a difference. So, if we want to say that you have been using that, then we could say that the search is still sort of there's some things you're still sort of trying to track down. The process is still going on because you're going to get a little more information.
Okay.
Yeah. There are no traps or bombs here, by the way, or anything like that. But ultimately, what's going to come to pass is you're going to realize that there's is here, as sort of Switch has been going back and forth and looking at things, is that you can kind of figure out where the scrying portal came from. So you're going to be able to figure out at least where the scrying happened from. And so that is that is the thing that's basically was going on there. Now at the end of the discussion, after Miteran walked off, and there was still this sort of just general sense of, okay, well, I guess we're going to give you this, but we still It's like, and Miterend had said, well, we're going to be very busy we've got a thing the next couple of days. We're going to be very busy at the church, or the Church of Midnight's going to be very busy the next couple of days. But then, so it's going to be a couple of days before we're through this. But like I said, we're not going to do anything to harm any of you while this is going on. Well, and, but then after we're done with our thing, then we can investigate properly. And so took custody and went off. And then, from across the street, the angel that had been watching, hanging out, Sascha, the bedraggled angel officer of the Angelic Legion of the Silver, basically, who's currently in a deal that involves him hanging around here a lot, mostly having breakfast with Shaw, or coffee with Shaw in the mornings. Sort of came over with his coffee pot and was like, and said, okay, so would you all like to know what they're actually going to be up to the next couple of days, or what they're actually up to, what they're really doing? And they were getting ready to settle in and have that discussion, and that is going to be the point, roughly, at which Shaw is going to fade out into the gray, and Vor will return from the gray. You'll find yourself in it's not exactly like it. So it looks like sort of a very narrow sort of New York apartment, or it would be, except it's been sliced in half and is currently sitting open as though it were the set of a sitcom. Basically, so it's, you can see the outside, you can see the street and everything. It's to the open air right now, at the base of the Jenga tower. And that is where we left off. So, this has just happened. How are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, hey, Vor, welcome back.
Hi. I hope I haven't missed anything too terribly important.
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, from what we can tell, whatever, what's his name said about our houses or rooms seems to be whatever. He's probably lying.
Okay, I'm not sure how comforted I am. Still probably gonna give my house a good looking through, just to be safe. When I get back, if I get back, it might be a while. How's the foreman?
Alive?
Mac just glances over to the hammock. Do we put him in the hammock? I think we.
Yeah, he's in the hammock. I kind of assumed you had him in the other room, but if you you're just sort of looking, you can look in easily because it's right. You sort of look around the corner. Yeah, he's lying he's unconscious right now in the hammock. He seems okay. He seems okay. The little medical spirit is hovering near him, just sort of monitoring his vitals.
Did you summon that, Mac? She's pointing at the medical spirit.
I don't remember doing that. No, I think that just comes with the Jenga tower, actually.
Miterend summoned it.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I could have summoned it. Really, so you need to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that high a level spirit. You'd have been able to.
Then who did?
Sorry, so Miterend was the head of the Church of Midnight?
No, he is a priest. He's fairly high up in the church apparently, but he is not the head of the Church of Midnight. He is one of its priests.
Well, Apparently we have been surveilled by the Church of Midnight. I don't think that's comes as a shock to you or any of us. Really.
No.
But he had politely asked for Shaw's guest if we want to.
So we actually had a member of the Church of Midnight. Vor like just starts cursing quietly under her breath. I don't know what he's like cursed with, but like a whole assortment of minor deities, one assumes. Did he say anything about Infilosa while I was here?
No, actually, he was more accusing, I guess. He believes that we were working hand in hand with Dark-Eyed Manfred.
We had a Vespertine in a cage. I feel like that sort of would argue the opposite.
You would think that, but he seems a little skeptical of Shaw's guest actually being a traitor.
Well, I suppose they'll find out when they talk to him. There had to be a reason why the Vespertine didn't want that guy falling into their hands, so.
So, did they already take him back? Take the Vespertine back, or did?
Yeah, my friend already took Ende
to drop it off.
No, he took her back. Kellyadney is who he was what he said. He said her name was. Well, that's the name she gave him. But that's he already cleared out. That's why there's an angel standing here now. Yeah.
And Philos is gonna have to talk to me at some point.
Out of curiosity, does anyone tell Vor the name of the person that they were from the Church of Midnight, or do you keep that to yourselves for now?
The one, which one?
The person you were just talking to.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you mention that to Vor, this is now why I have just drawn a card, because I need to look briefly into the past.
History.
Yes. So the card that I have drawn is the Whispering Lover.
You get the best card.
Is it another one of Vor's ex-boyfriends?
It could be. Oh God, that might explain some things. Let me go ahead and read the description here. I don't know if we've had this card. If we have, it's been a very long time.
Every NPC is one of Vor's ex-lovers.
So the Whispering Lover, its meanings are love, romance, partnership, loved ones, relationships. Oh God. Love represents the strongest of bonds, romance, family, and deep friendship. The intimacy inherent in the whispers of a lover is rare and valuable. We seek love, and once we have it, we fight to keep it. The Whispering Lover represents those people in our lives that are most important to us. It doesn't have to suggest romance. There are many kinds of positive relationships one can have in their life. In divination, the Whispering Lover always suggests a bond in place, or one that will form very soon, but it can be a positive one or a negative one. Depending on other cards played, this might suggest that the relationship in question remains strong, ends, faces a challenge, and so on. This card turned essentially just brings the relationship into play. It's a visions card for those of us keeping track of such things. Gray magic is up, indigo magic is down. I shall activate the gray sun. And there we are. For this name, so this is somebody that you knew before the war. So I will give you these facts before I begin asking questions.
Okay.
He is a goetic.
Okay.
He was in the Church of Midnight prior to the war, also, but perhaps was not all. Probably, was not necessarily always, but was. And essentially, I'll tell you. I'll let you. There's a picture of him in the handouts. I haven't moved him down. So very sort of. I kind of interpreted that to be sort of very sort of 70s rocker type, basically. So that's kind of what we're.
It's a really bitchin' coat, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty in love with it.
Last time I was playing him as sort of low key 70s British rocker, basically. And so that said, what do you feel the nature of this of your connection with Miteran might have been?
I mean, you drew the card Whispering Lover. I've had too much fun playing with Vor and Verregan's relationship, which is more recent. So yeah, I feel like this is another one of Vor's exes.
Okay.
Although maybe an ex where she left things more amicably, and honestly, it may have been the events that surrounded the war that broke them apart.
It easily could have. So, that being the case,
this could just be if she still has these memories. This could just be like who she was dating at the time when everything sort of went down and hasn't reconnected with. Okay,
yeah. So, I have more because of that. Then I have more information to give you.
Okay, cool.
A little bit. So he is how you know. Maybe he's not how you know. He is in a circle of people. He was in a circle of people who knew or was familiar with your apprentice's parent. Let me actually find the various names that would be required. Let me bring up my old NPC chart. My NPC workbook.
Are you talking about my recent apprentice?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's recently? Araya?
Looking for their name.
No,
Adis.
That's not Araya. Adis. There it is. Adis. Knew it started with an A. Enredima is Adis's mother.
Yes.
And Enredima, well, it does not say this in the official text. I've decided she's a goetic, also, because it makes sense given the things she interacts with. Enredima, so Enredima knows a number of people at the Church of Midnight. She is not in the Church of Midnight. She's not into that kind of that whole I'm fine doing my I'm confident enough in my own personal power not to have to worry, not to have to try to lead with pushing people over to get what I want, which is kind of the Church of Midnight. It's the thing. It's very much about personal freedom, but the thing is, they're very much they will do dangerous things in order to assure their own freedom and power and that kind of thing. But at the time, so he was in that circle of people, and you think it is entirely possible, as memories are starting to trigger a little bit, that he might have been how you knew Infilosa.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Yeah.
Because he was getting fairly high up in the Church of Midnight, and from what you recall, it was important to him to he was a thinker more time. You know, he didn't usually react as hot-headedly as a lot of people, especially the younger recruits in the church tend to be. He's very much more of a, okay, well, let's actually gauge what's going on here. And he's not interested necessarily in hurting people. If hurting people can be avoided, fine. He does not hesitate to hurt people if they are standing in his way. But, oh no!
We lost Arras.
No! But, he does not, as a rule, wish to harm anyone. I'm going to do a quick transition, whilst we're getting Arras back, where everyone's in the wrong window, but that was basically the situation. So that said, that is what you are remembering at this point.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm kind of giving some more thought to the relationship. I do think that this is who she was romantically involved with at the time. At the time she was rectified.
Yes.
We haven't heard in a while. And I think since coming back, she hasn't really reached out because she's still trying to figure out if she's still the same person that she was. There's so many gaps in her memory.
Yeah.
And so she hasn't bothered trying to reach back out. Although now that things are starting to come back.
I will say, I have to wonder if some of that, if there may be certain things, if you were significantly different, if that had something to do with your change of, if there was anything that was involved, kind of, you remember how we said that there was a little bit of, what is this, sort of a stir when
she switched
Lady
Weaver
Volt
circles.
formed her own, when you switched Weaver circles. Lady Volt formed her own Weaver circle, and then you eventually joined, but did not join at first. And so I'm wondering if there's something there.
I would say that probably happened like around the same time when Vor came back and was still trying to figure out, I mean, who are you without your memories, right? If you don't remember who you are, I mean, we've seen that already with Eroshka.
Yeah,
being
exactly.
So radically different from pre-war Eroshka because of the loss of memories. So, I think Vor's still trying to like feel that out and probably hasn't approached Midorand. Because if you're not the same person as you were in the relationship, like she's not sure, and she's not sure she is, or if he is. So although this man, Vor just keeps shoveling her way deeper in with the Church of Midnight. She's got a shovel and she's going to the bottom. Okay, so then in that case, when someone brings up Midorand's fate, Midorand's name, that's who was here, I think this is probably the first time you see Vor blush hard, like bright red across her face. And then she would say, would lean in a little bit, be like, how long ago did he leave?
Simply a few moments before you faded back in, actually.
Yeah, Suzenio sort of will look. Yeah, it's probably just less than a minute ago.
Be right back, and Vor's gonna leave and chase after him.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think it's going to be... Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too strange or challenging when you do this, but I'm actually... I feel the need to draw another card.
By all means, draw another card. Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Because I kind of need to see... I need to see how this... I need to see where this lands. So, yeah. This actually can work for a couple of things. So, the card that I have drawn now, is the Conspirator. Let me go ahead and
that's a good
bring it up here.
Card.
It is a Defender. Oh, I think Arras is getting her internet back. We'll know in a moment.
Which Defender is this?
This is the Defender of Secrets. We've had the Conspirator recently, so I won't go into huge detail. But its meanings are upheaval, hidden agendas, and gossip. Basically, conspiratorial action is happening. And we have Arras back. Yay!
I'm back. I had to restart my computer, I guess.
Oh, no worries. Let me just do a quick reshuffle here. And we'll have everyone back into their correct windows. I would like to thank Danielle for remaining in her same window. Well done.
Definitely planned that. Totally.
Yes, absolutely, totally planned. Yeah. So you're going to chase after Miterand, and I will address that in a moment. But this card will still work for what we're doing right now. Also, we're gonna flip back and forth for a second. The Conspirator, this is a Defender card. Let me go ahead and pull up the rules summary thing. System reference. There we go. Which has shortcuts to all these things. Defender +2 to all actions if heart matches family. So that's for people, those of us in the Secrets family right now. So that would be Shaw if Shaw were here. So unfortunately it doesn't really, so it's not really doing much in that way. Yeah, the Conspirator is basically, there's a lot of sort of whispering and like, you know, as part of that. The Defender of Secrets guards secrets, and the family they represent roll to know the secrets and spread them as needed, whispering to just the right people at just the right time. Vor is going to run off down and around the corner. Suzenul will sort of point in the direction so you can, you know, run after him. You know how to get out of this neighborhood.
Yes.
So basically, you run away from the cul-de-sac when you're in this on this street. That's the general rule.
Vor continues to do unintentionally everything possible to avoid interacting with the foreman.
I mean, it's you know, well, I mean, you know.
Can I send my ice jaguar to follow her?
Yeah, sure.
As support.
Yeah, Ivalice will be like, who I guess, yeah, you never actually dismissed them, so they're like, all right. They'll be like, yeah, okay. And they will trot along. Are they trotting along invisibly?
Is it
So the name I originally gave was Avalice, and then we called them Ivalice for a couple of sessions because I hadn't looked at the session where I named them for quite a while, and I hadn't written it down.
I think Ivalice would try to be stealthy about it.
Yeah. Sure, no, that's perfectly fine.
She is there to watch for his back. Is Karen out, by the way? I mean, we haven't seen or heard from Karen.
Well, we've drawn the conspirator card, so it's probable. You think that there is, if you look in the direction of the cul-de-sac, which you can see from here, you see Karen is actually talking to, it looks like a couple of people. You can't make out much about them from here because you're still, you're like a couple of blocks away, effectively. But she's up on she's up in the cul-de-sac talking to somebody. Like there are a couple of people who appear to be adults. That's all I can tell. I will say that so as Vora's running down there, so Sascha will just sort of lean in and we'll kind of mention do you want to is it a good time for me to tell you about this ritual so that you can it's focused very much on the dark and its worshippers. It's more effective against, when you're trying to find out information about them. But do you want to hear about this right now, or do we have other concerns or immediate? Okay. He just sort of, when no one says anything, he'll just kind of be like, he'll shrug. There is there's this ritual. It's called the Ritual of the Four Verities. It's not around quite as often, but if you know a good person who deals in rituals, who deals in just sort of either ritual libraries or just will sell individual rituals, that kind of thing. You can probably find one without too much trouble. But that's I remember when that ritual was created, and it was specifically it'll definitely tell you things. If you want to ask, you can ask one question of the Four Verity spirits. Mac, this actually the Four Verities, that does ring a little bit of a bell because you've studied all kinds of spirits. These are like spirits that are damnably difficult to summon. Apparently, and so you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense that there's a specific ritual for that. But they are essentially spirits. Let me open the document I'm trying to get at so that I can have the information more directly in front of me and speak with the tiniest bit more authority on the matter. Let me see here. Yeah, they're spirits of indigo that basically hate the dark. The dark with a capital D, the outside, the void, that kind of deal. And they're used often in divination. Often, when you do call on them, they're used in divination. When someone has the ability to call on them. But they're much more focused on on getting information. They tend to be much more accurate when people are asking about people who either serve or venerate the dark in some way, and so things like the Church of Midnight, they'd be able to provide more direct information. So the idea is that, and this ritual specifically you're not directly familiar with, but it's, yeah, most goetics aren't usually able to summon them directly. because they kind of work in concert, and they're fairly powerful, and you've got to get like all 4 of them together at once, and so this ritual does that apparently. And so yeah, he'll basically sort of clue you in as to like, yeah, there's some it's available. It's usually, I've seen it on monographs in different around. I mean, there are people who sell it around here somewhere. So I mean, if you folks want to get a hold of a copy, I think that then that would probably be your fastest way to find out what the Church of Midnight is actually doing. That's just my advice on the matter.
Well, lucky for everyone here, I happen to be a pro goetic, so he just flexes his fingers and starts looking over the notes with Sagan perched on his shoulder.
What notes are we looking at?
No, just the notes that he took with regards to summoning this ritual.
Oh well, I mean, that's the thing. Is it's you still have your notes from when you were learning to be from when you were in Goetic, so you're basically just going to flip back through your.
Yeah, basically, his Cliff Notes version.
Okay.
He didn't really go out and buy the textbooks. He just he went and bought Cliff Notes. Those Goetic books were expensive. Okay.
That's fair. Apparently, it looks like something one of your instructors said at the time was, "Do not under any circumstances try to summon them without the full ritual." But I mean, why listen to them?
Listen, I didn't become a friend to spirits just by playing it safe, okay? That being said, he is probably going to go to the Goetic Hall and do the ritual there, rather than just out in the open here at the Jenga Tower.
You're not going to do it right here? Yeah.
Yeah. He just starts scribbling on the sidewalk.
You're going to, yeah. You also have in your Cliff Notes, apparently it says you need 4 Vizsli. And apparently it says they don't have to be Goetics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He just starts counting on 4 including himself or themselves, or
your notes don't specify probably, but Sagan's like, probably you'd count? Yeah, you'd count. You just need someone to lead the ritual, I guess. Because this be like, if this is like most rituals, it's like you got someone leading the ritual, and then you got like everyone else in the ritual. I think most ritual books they'll tell you. They'll say if you need someone. You usually count their leader of the ritual in with the number of people. Usually.
Oh, it's just that according to our brunch handbook, you have a brunch quorum with at least 4 Vizsli. So.
Oh yeah.
But then he just starts counting, like, yeah, we have all 4. Oh, right, 4. Do they have to be conscious?
I haven't done the ritual before. I think it would probably help.
He just looks over at the hammock again. You know what? You know what, everyone? They've been upping their brunch game at the Goetic Hall, but we should go find Vor and make sure that everything is okay.
Yeah, we should probably go follow her.
Well, let's all just step out of this apartment as Mac exits. He doesn't use the door, though. He just exits through the open wall.
Yeah.
As if he was just walking into the studio audience.
So, Switch will come sort of flying back around from the back side of the building, and we'll say, all right, I think that we can probably pinpoint the source of this particular scrying opening. Seal it up if we need to. Do we want to do that, or do you, or are we putting that off for now?
Oh no, we should secure the building. Can't imagine all the things that they were watching.
It's all right. Well, it's probably it's right about there, and he'll sort of indicate, and you'll be able to sort of see the sort of glowing area where you could kind of use magic to sort of reverse scry through and sort of figure out where that is, if you so desire.
Like where they're viewing from?
Yeah, where they were viewing from.
Oh.
If you decide you want to trace it back.
I guess we might as well figure that out.
Okay. So while that is going on...
he will actually... Yeah. Sorry, he's just going to close up the foreman's apartment and put it back in the Jenga tower.
All right. Yeah, no, easily said and done. Easily done. As easily said as done. Basically, take the two halves and you close them back together and insert it back in. So the apartment comes closed, and it's now a Jenga brick again.
Fantastic.
Whilst this is going on, I am going to flip over to Vor. So we're still under the conspirator, because this is why I drew it in the first place. You're gonna see that. You're gonna sort of come around the corner to you're gonna be passing by the you catch up with him around where the rocket is, a little past the rocket, and you will see that let me actually, there it is. There we go. That one of the sisters, one of the two sisters who lives in the rocket, is out sort of on the side of it, hammering some things in, doing some repairs. You'll see Miter, and as he's walking, there's a there's an orb hovering next to him. It's this large orb that looks kind of silvery, like this sort of silvery bubble, bit larger than a person, is just sort of hovering next to him as he's walking.
Have I ever seen anything like that before?
You think that is a spirit? You think that is something that he is summoned?
Okay. That would make sense. He's goetic. Cool. Okay. Trying to think precisely how Bull would approach this, because this is a very impulse-driven run. I think she just shouts his name, honestly. Yeah, Bor's gonna just shouts Mitterand, like at the top of her lungs. And waits to see if he turns.
So, as you're sort of yes, they've gotten a little past the rocket, and they're heading into the square that is not too far from your house. He just sort of stops. You see that he just sort of, and he just sort of you can see him stiffen up just a second. And the bubble kind of stops. When he stops, I should say it's not a perfectly round bubble. It's more sort of lozenge shaped, kind of. It's horizontal right now, moving along next to him, and he'll stop. He turns his head, and he's got
gives this really awkward wave.
He just sort of his coat comes up to just under his cheek, because he's turning his eye, sort of coming up, as this is going on, and he'll slowly turn around. There you are.
Here I am.
They said you were away. You were off in the gray for a moment.
I think it was the strain of pulling the foreman out of the machine.
Oh, I see.
It just sent me back for a moment. I'm fine now. Well, mostly fine.
Yeah, everyone in the square is kind of looking at the two of you right now, and he's
slowly backing away.
he's kind of like, he just kind of glances up for a second, and he'll come closer and try to
Just now occurring to Vor/me that he may have meant you were in the gray, as in during the war, and so Vor's gonna try to cover and be like, "Oh, did you? I was just temporarily in the gray a moment ago. Are you referring to what happened?"
No, but I mean, I'd heard that you were back from there, but he just sort of is looking at he's looking kind of uncomfortably at the girl, and she's the one. She's wearing she's wearing kind of a long sort of coat with a green jumper underneath, and just sort of sort of leaning, sort of watching. She stopped hammering on the side of the rocket altogether, and just
gonna get the hot gossip.
just sort of watching, and he's like, "We probably don't want to have this conversation right here. I'm just taking Caliadne," and he says, gesturing to the bubble, back to the church.
That's good. You should do that, and you should talk to them.
I mean, It's going to take a minute if you want to... I'm heading there on foot. If you want to...
Do you want me to walk with you?
Yeah, we
talk?
can. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing that up here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure. Just sort of. He's not entirely certain what to say.
Yeah, neuters
but,
Vor. This
yeah.
was not properly considered when she just ran out the door. Yeah, she will follow to talk as they walk. Actually, hang on a second. I had a thought. I don't know if I can do this. I gotta go check my Weaver threads about something for a second. Let's see here. Obstacles and okay. I guess there's no rule that says I have to weave 3 things. I feel like I can.
No, you don't have to.
I got 3. What I want to do is like effectively create a bubble of hearing around Mitterrand and Vor so that they can talk without anyone else like hearing what they're saying. So I have obstacles from challenge. I have proximity from lust. And then I have movement from fire so that the bubble can travel with them.
Okay. And now I must open the effects by level table. Our old friend, the effects by level table.
Handy dandy.
And yeah, this is basically just you're muffling the audio.
Yeah, like a low hum or buzzing noise so that it's garbled enough for people not to understand.
Yeah.
Like not completely stopping all sound, just sort of making it so that you basically have to be on top of Mitterrand and Vor to understand what's being said.
Yeah. So let's see. As we search through, so like a full sensory illusion the size of a person might do it to an extent, because it's really, you're only affecting one. Yeah, but you're only affecting one. This is going to be bigger than one person, but you're only affecting one sense.
Yeah, if there's no actual, sight, smell, anything.
I think we're going to settle on it being level 3.
Okay, that's fine.
And there's nothing to roll. There's nothing to resist against. You're just doing this. I will, but kind of as you're sort of coming forward and doing this, I will say that that audibly, as you are getting ready to do this, and it's sort of obvious that, they're like, the two of you are getting ready to sort of move or try to not be heard, you audibly hear the girl on the ladder just sort of go, "Oh," and he just sort of, Mitterrand just sort of looks up and says, "Yes, thank you, Willie. Nice to see you too." And
depriving the neighborhood of their gossip.
Yeah. I'm going to ask briefly, back at the tower, real quick. Do you spend more time at the tower, or are you pursuing Vor? I kind of need to know the where the bodies are at this point.
I think we're going to pursue Vor.
Okay, so you folks will be approaching. Yeah, you can figure out where that thing leads whenever you like. So as you folks are approaching and you're catching up, you're seeing that Vor is up next to Mitterrand, and you don't see Kaliadni, but you do see this big kind of lozenge-shaped silver bubble next to him, which you're presuming is how he's carrying her at this point. And which, Mac, you realize that's another spirit. and you can see that Vor is probably getting ready to cast something. I'll say that it's entirely possible, but Danielle, I will leave this up to you as to whether or not you notice them coming.
I think in this circumstance, because Vor is really running on instinct and impulse right now, her attention is very tightly focused on Mirand and figuring out how to solve this problem that's directly in front of her, and she probably is not observant enough at the moment to notice anyone coming up. I also will say that to any of those of you who are observing as you come up, it is probably immediately apparent that they have some past romantic history, because they are standing a little bit too close together, like closer than you would normally stand with someone you aren't kind of involved with in some way. But then they're also very deliberately avoiding touching each other because they haven't quite figured out whether that's okay. So they're doing that really awkward dance of like people who definitely used to be together but maybe aren't right now, and it's very obvious.
I think in turn, by the way, this will probably spur a couple of additional memories for those of you who last time we established had already had known Miteran from before. I'll say that Mac, you do remember there being that job interview segment, basically, but then there's also this thing like you're not sure that was entirely why you were there in the first place. But there was like, it's like you think that like, were you looking for Vor when this happened? You might have been looking for Vor when you talked to this guy last, before, well, not last, you know what I mean, before the war. And you surmised that he would know where she was, or you thought that he would know where she was. But that additional piece of information has come to you. Aroshka, also, similarly, you have seen these two people standing together before.
Ooh.
This is familiar. And I think some kind of emotion will return to you. Will sort of surge up for a moment, a memory of an emotion. How do you think Pastor Oshka would have reacted to learn that Vor was dating someone from the Church of Midnight?
I mean, probably surprised, maybe a certain amount of annoyance. Surprised and annoyed.
So
the sense that Pastor Roshka maybe did not like Mitterrand.
Roshka doesn't like Mitterrand either.
Yeah. So I think there's like this thing that falls into place for a moment in the back of your head where it's like, oh yes, that's why I don't like him.
Specifically.
I think we established Shantano had no prior knowledge of Mitterrand, possibly. I can't, yeah, so this is just basically, it's an interesting, it is an interesting thing to study, possibly. This particular, there are all kinds of emotions bleeding off right now. This is very interesting.
There's a plethora of emotions happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of yeah.
Irritable feast.
So you all are approaching. You see the Roshka is getting ready to cast something. Does anyone do anything? How do we wish to handle this particular situation?
I mean, as far as Shantano is concerned, all magic is good magic, right? So.
Good attitude. Good attitude.
You won't want to like get up close enough so that you will be inside the bubble when she casts it, or do you want to get up close enough and try to stop her for a minute, or do you want to just sort of stay where you are and just sort of stare at them? What do you want to do?
Vor noticed us.
Well, Vor has not noticed you.
Vor has not noticed you all.
Fixated on Midrand. This is someone she didn't intend. She didn't actually break up with. Like, they were still together up until the war happened, and she just hasn't gone to see him since then because she didn't know if it would be awkward, basically. So she's been avoiding this confrontation.
I feel like I will at least try to get into visual range of one end or both of them and glare. I'm like, not gonna interfere, but I'm gonna judge from a distance.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
I think...
Are you getting in Vor's visual range or Midrand's? That's a really key thing here.
I feel like I'm gonna get in Midrand's visual range.
So,
glare. I don't know if he knows we're related, but...
And
I feel like Midrand probably knows we're related.
You're gonna hear... So you're gonna, as you're getting ready to cast this Vor, you're gonna sort of hear him say as he's just sort of... you're suddenly gonna hear him say as he's looking past you, he's like, oh, that's a familiar look.
And looks over her shoulder and sees Aroshka's disapproving glare.
I'm not interfering. I'm just judging from over here. Please continue.
I just want to say that Mac is actually broken out a bag of popcorn and is eating it as we go down. And he'll just offer some to Shantano while he's doing it.
I appreciate that Mac is having the reaction Vor would have if the situations were reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vor looks at Aroshka and is like, do you mind? Can I have like 1 minute?
Standing far enough away. Cast your spell or whatever.
I feel like Vor lets the bubble spell go.
Well, yeah, if now's not a good time, we can talk later.
No, I have meant to come and talk to you for a while now, and I didn't because there are things missing. I don't remember everything from before. Not since I've come back on a more permanent basis. And I didn't know if that was going to cause a problem. I didn't know how it would affect this.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hurt you or me.
And he's stopping for a second. He's like, he kind of wipes his eye.
Aww.
For a second. We looked for you.
I know.
Infilosa wouldn't tell me what she. Infilosa wouldn't tell me what the. Have you cast your spell at this point, or have you not?
No, she cast the spell.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
To see who all hears this. Okay, so just possibly, so just the two of you, and possibly a person imprisoned in a bubble, and possibly an ice leopard, possibly an ice jaguar, are hearing this. And so he's like, I don't know what... Infilosa wouldn't tell me what the two of you were doing.
I don't remember
I asked her
what we were doing.
She she just wouldn't say, and I had to respect it because it was important. It was very clear that it was what you were doing was very important. But she wouldn't say, and then everything started. So we were out looking for you. They were looking for you. He just says, kind of sort of gesturing with his head toward Mac and Aroshka.
Yeah.
So he gets the very clear sense they're talking about us.
And she nods and I know everyone was looking for me. I don't even remember what I was doing within Filosa. I have like one singular memory of her and I at a party. I'm not sure what it was, and she told me that there was something. Hold on, I'm trying to find my notes from this conversation that I had with Filosa in a memory. Back further.
I understand. I totally. Invisible Sun is the game where you take enough notes that they eventually become sentient.
Yeah. No kidding.
They get better and better. My notes get better at hiding from me the more this campaign goes on.
Where is it? Oh, here it is. There was a game. There was I remember a room and these hexagonal gold tables, and something went wrong. I don't know what it was, and she said she was going to run interference while I got away, and I ran, and I don't think I ran far enough, and I got caught. And I only have vague memories of that. I was caught by a rectifier, and Karen was involved. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why it was important.
Karen. No. She did ask me to keep an eye on... Was her name Karen at the time? I think she changed her name to Karen after she came back.
I asked you to keep an eye on her.
Oh, someone asked me to keep an eye on her. Yeah, it was either you or Filosa. I can't remember clearly.
Okay.
For a while.
Then it sounds like I knew. It sounds like we knew there was danger from that source, I guess. This feels like a very work-oriented conversation, which is not actually what I came here to say.
No, sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry for not talking to you. And if you are amenable, I would like to go get coffee sometime and maybe, I don't know, have some other conversations that aren't related to whatever the hell is wrong with my lost memories.
There's so much happening that we are having to sort out.
Yeah,
right
I know.
Now.
And it doesn't have to be right now.
Oh,
I know they said that there's something happening, and that's fine. You can deal with that. I mean, there's plenty happening on our end.
It's like we're effectively, at this point, we've both been in the gray. It's effectively, we're almost like different people now. There's a lot to relearn, I suppose, or find out. And he's you can see he's actually kind of struggling with himself a little bit right now as he's trying to communicate this. He's like, he closes his eyes for a second. And I'm going to draw a card.
does Vor get her boyfriend back?
Oh my god.
Is that a good oh my god or a bad oh my god?
I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, okay. The card that I have drawn, strangely enough, is the Weeping Priest.
Ooh. Well, sort of appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a weeping priest right now. This means our betrayal, weakness, turnabout, disillusionment, loss. The priest sits alone, filled with sadness or remorse. What has happened? What's causing his misery, happiness, success, and good fortune are fragile things, easily taken away by the cruel hand of fate. Particularly true when there's a probably unseen weakness in a plan. As the apprentice of secrets, the weeping priest is its weak link. It's a hindrance at best and hidden stab in the back at worst. The worst secret of all is the one that conceals betrayal by the one you love most.
No, this is a dark card. I don't like it.
Weeping Priest is almost always an unwelcome card. It indicates surprise, reversal, and it's almost always bad. It suggests there's an unexpected weakness in the plan to deal with the matter at hand. You can see he closes his eyes. Mitering closes his eyes. And, he says his eye is still closed. He takes a very deep breath and straightens back up. Things are, from what I understand, possibly intensely difficult on a universal scale right now. Things may be coming apart soon. I don't honestly know. And he reopens his eyes, and you can see there's a little bit they've been he's been trying to hold back tears a little bit. Honestly, given everything lately, I don't know how much we matter. Maybe if we're both still around after this is whatever it is taken care of, then we can properly sit down and talk.
I don't think I can ask for more than that. So, thank you. I think for those of you who are watching, you do see, probably for the first time, I don't think she's ever actually cried before. I think that there is
you don't have
a little
eyes.
bit of a tear. Yeah, Vor doesn't have eyes anymore. That's true. She's removed her eyes. But I guess maybe she hasn't. Oh, that's a good question.
It's magic. You can cry if you want.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering this. I think she does. I think there's like a single tear that she like quickly wipes away. Like she's not one for showing emotion. That's part of why she had her eyes removed. And then she like straightens herself up and says, well, in the interest of making sure that there is still a world in which to have coffee, you should know I had a chat with Adis, and apparently there are bones being stolen from your graveyards.
He says, oh, that. That will be fine. That's not something that anyone should be concerned about. We're,
Okay.
we've got a little research we're doing. That's all.
All right.
It's,
then you should know that my friends are telling the truth about, and she gestures toward the bubble, and the Vespertine are up to something. They did not want us to bring her to you. They tried to force us to give her up, so we couldn't bring her to you.
Yes, I'm going to be taking her back to the cathedral. We've I'm right now, we don't have anyone in to be able to properly look into it just yet. Right now I'm the only one over there really right now. Again, because as you have surmised, the rest of us are rather, those higher ups and Infilos in particular, are they're very busy doing the research that we've been talking about. That will probably, and so we need, we have something important we need to do with it over the next day or two.
Okay.
After that, then I intend to make sure that we give this matter our full attention.
All right. Well, if you need someone of my particular talents, my house is just over there, and she will point at the House of Cards, which I think is visible from where we are.
Yeah, it is totally. It's right down the right on the other end of the square.
And
I know.
Don't forget, when all this is over, coffee. And also tell Infilosa to stop ignoring me.
Yeah, she, from what I understand, she got a couple of messages from you. But, I'll try and... I'll see if I can get something into her.
She's the only one who knows what happened. And if I have to go march down to the goddamn cathedral to pull it out of her brain, I will. But I would rather not do that. Especially since it sounds like y'all got important stuff happening.
Oh, yeah, right at the moment, yes. And he just sort of looks at the... You see, he's actually now... And when he says that and he looks at the big lozenge, at the big bubble, and he just gets this slightly worried look that only lasts for like a split second, but which you know how to interpret, sort of instinctually here, and it's like gears are turning in the back of his head where he's like, where there's kind of this almost it's kind of almost, wait, is everything going to be okay? Type thing going on. Probably. But then he's just like, he nods, he says, oh, I can assure you. He says, and he snaps out of it. It only lasts for a second, and then he snaps out of it, and he goes back to doing the lazy rogue thing. And he's like, no, I assure you, that is something I'll not soon forget. We'll be in touch.
Be safe then.
Yeah. You know how to reach me if you need me. And
Vor will wave a hand and drop the spell.
And he just sort of gestures to the bubble, and the bubble continues to follow him as he will sort of back away. And he'll just sort of nod and just kind of give a sort of nod, lazy toss of the head at the rest of you, and just kind of turn and start ambling northwestward.
Vor will turn around back to the rest, and I think Aroshka, you're the only one who's close enough to hear her muttering under her breath something about those damn priests. I'm sorry that I ran off like that. I'm sorry. I should have done that. We have stuff to be doing, don't we?
Yes, but it can wait.
No, what's next? What are we doing next?
Guess we could check all our rooms.
Yeah. You checked it.
Checked. Did you say check our rooms, Shantanu?
Yeah, weren't we supposed to? Didn't what's his name say that they did something to all our houses and stuff?
Manfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody gone back to their place yet?
Yes, he was definitely at my house, although he didn't apparently do anything that I noticed. He was just there. The evil hat told me.
I've been couch surfing since we got back. I haven't actually gone back to my house yet.
I don't technically have a house. Unless they did something to the cafe.
All right, well, I mean, I guess we can check mine if we want. It's right there. Unless there's something else we have to do.
Well, I've got a ritual that I would like to do, but it can wait. So let's
get
to it.
We can go do the ritual. That's fine. Borges looks really uncomfortable. Like, she's not the bright, bubbly, loud personality that she normally is at the moment.
No, maybe we should just make sure that your home is secure before we go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, come on then. And she starts walking toward the house of cards. Definitely is pulling out her champagne flute, and you see her knock back like 3 glasses in a row as she's walking before she puts it away again. And like shake herself a little bit. But yeah, I'll go up and open the door. I don't know if 4 has a key.
Yeah.
I don't know if she does or not. It's interesting.
Good question. How do you usually secure your house, or do you just leave the door open?
I feel like she would secure her house, but probably in a really odd way. Like, oh no, you know what? I know what happens. If someone she doesn't want comes onto her house or like tries to get into her house and isn't able to overcome her defenses, the house just folds up into a deck of cards. Like, it just like collapses in on itself and becomes a stack of cards, and you can't get into it until she's there to like reshuffle it, basically. So if it's still standing, then that means, as far as she's aware, unless it was someone really powerful who could overcome her own defenses, then the house is fine. Or at least anybody who came in had an invitation.
I have, yeah. So let's see. Do you have, by any chance, any sort of idea of what sort of level those defenses might be, just out of curiosity?
Ooh. Good question.
I don't know if they actually assign levels to such things, but I'm trying to remember if the house.
Vor would have done. I mean, it's a defense for her house, so Vor would have done the best job she's capable of doing with it. Which probably means with the amount of magic that she can expend at any one time, it's probably like a level 9 or level 10 defense, I would imagine.
Gotcha.
She's gotten a little bit more powerful since then, and she hasn't had time to like upgrade the magic, but that's probably about where it sits.
That's fair. So, let's start by saying, do you have a front door?
Yes.
Okay. What do you usually do when you enter your house? How does this work?
No, she has a front door. It's just made of a card. I feel like the Joker's the Joker card is the front door.
Okay.
For sure.
So you will unlock, and if you have an unlock or a gesture or some sort of arcane thing, if you need to do it to open the front door. Do you go inside?
Yes, assuming nothing looks immediately fishy.
What is the sort of more the immediate interior of the card?
Like the layout of her house?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I feel like most of the ground floor of her house is like large open partying spaces for when she has guests, because Vor loves a good party. So, like, there's definitely a bar in here somewhere, and she's just got like a lot of rooms with like couches pushed against the walls so people can like chat and talk, and like maybe some higher tables with seats. It looks like a really nice bar basically on the first floor. And then there's a staircase that goes up, which would be like the more private living quarters, which she would actually have like a bedroom.
I am sitting in the middle of a thing here, and I am going to offer you a choice, because I can see advantage to going in any of these three directions that I could possibly go in right now. I'm going to offer you a choice between these three things. You can make a roll, I can draw a card, or I can give you a despair. Which of these would you like?
Rolling is boring. So I'm leaning card or despair, just because I'm curious what you would give me a despair for. Card. Let's do card.
Okay.
I like the Sooth deck too much.
Yes, this is true.
Plus, Vor's always eternally hopeful that the lucky coin will come up.
I too have this malady of enjoying the Sooth deck way too much for my own good. Funny thing, actually,
I've seen that one.
Yeah, I was going back and looking at a brief little. It was a very sort of little. I wouldn't call it even a full documentary necessarily, but a little spot on surrealism that actually covers a lot of things. And I've realized that the Sooth deck, the Sooth card pull is actually like the most surreal game mechanic I think I've ever encountered, because it actually has you engage in automatism and surreal automatism of sort of trying to get past your conscious into your subconscious by in this case by introducing this random element and a prompt. It's very cool. That said, we have drawn the angel. So let's see, the angel. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is
Vor's Defender card for what it's worth.
Yeah. So this is its meanings are judgment, safety, assistance, light, and justice. It is the defender of notions. No greater representation of goodness, light, or justice exists than the winged form of an angel from on high. Left behind as part of the legacy, they attempt to aid, to teach, and to protect. However, some angels also pass judgment. Their vengeance can be terrible to behold. Their anger is something no mortal ever wishes to experience. Thus, the angel represents both the open palm of altruism and the terrible fist of retribution. The angel is the defender of notions. Its light ensures that they are kept safe. In divination, one should take this opportunity to look for an ally, or at least shelter someone or something out there. And help the person in question. The angel brings justice as it passes judgment. As long as one is not found wanting, this card turn suggests that external forces bring assistance or succor. This is the defender of notions, and
And that's
Defender
Thor's
cards
family.
will gives you +2 to your to those of us who are allied with Notion, so Mac and 4. So I think as you are stepping into the house, there is a brief moment. There's a brief sort of whooshing sound as you are about to step into the house. And Cesenua appears, who you folks had just sort of left over by the tower. As you're about to, and will be like, he will have place his hand, his sort of flowery hand, just sort of in front of where you're about to step. He says, "Wait, hold on." Something's been done. Something's been done to it. Something's been done to it. And he was looking up sort of at the arch and as
It's
sort of
still standing. It packs itself up when someone's been inside it that I didn't invite.
Oh, that's very clever. He says, and you see him just sort of, he hovers up for a moment and does a quick spin around, just a moment. He hovers up and does a quick spin around the building for a second and hovers back down. Something has changed about that.
In what way?
It seems as though the I'm no Vizli, but it looks like your spell has been tampered with. I think it was going to trigger when I think it was going to trigger after you were all inside.
What was going to trigger?
The folding of the house.
We'll cast this magic. Can she, like, is there a way for her to, like, take a closer look at it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can kind of look at the threads of it that you have woven. I'm gonna ask. I will be calling for a roll now. Let me glance
fine.
briefly at the requisite note. Just so that we have this information. Now, let's see. Oh, that's right. They just put it directly in. I'm looking in the wrong place. Let me move it to the right place. Okay. So, yeah. This is going to be a, given, yes, I think that, will it? I think it might, given what he has, what he's capable of. This will be a difficulty of 14. This will be a challenge of 14.
Okay. All right. Is this just to look at the spell, or is this to, like,
no,
actually,
well, no,
like,
not to
fix
look
it?
at the spell. This is to try to figure out exactly what's been done to it and to undo it.
Okay.
This is
Then
to
in
take it
that
apart
case-
and undo the thing that was done and figure out Just to figure out a bunch of stuff about it, basically.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my second action recovery to refresh my sorcery pool, first of all, because I'm going to need all of that sorcery. I have a level 2 skill in understanding magic that lies outside codified practice. I would argue that's relevant here since forecast this. This is Weaver magic.
That's an interesting question. Would you sort of you'd think that all of Weaver magic is in that category outside of codified practices?
Yeah, I mean Weavers don't have written spells. Or
did you make the spell up on the spot? I guess is the question. And if you did, then that's probably would work.
Yes.
So, yeah, we can do that.
Does Vor ever make up anything ahead of time?
That's fair. So yeah, no, you can use that. Yeah.
The only thing Vor does repeatedly is light her sword cane on fire. That's fair. Most of her magic is spontaneous.
So yeah, that'll bring it down to 12. It's right. You had 2 levels in that, right?
Yes, I have 2 levels in that. Checking to see if I have any. I mean, I have 12 sorceries. I can I can cast a level 12 spell again for the second time in the same day if I want to.
Yeah, brute force it. That's it. That'll be fine
just
for
brute
you.
Force it again. You know what? Actually, I think I am going to do that because Vor's in a little bit of a mood, I think, after talking to Midrand. So,
let me ask briefly for a second, does anyone wish to step in and help to reduce the expenditure of sorcery on her part?
Yeah, I don't know. Would like one of my skills be useful here, or
what have you got?
I have magical lore and understanding people's motives.
Yes, both of those would help. I think it's really I know I'm trying to remember helping. Usually, I think you can only use one skill. Which of those is higher?
Yeah.
Or are they both?
They're the same. They're both level 1.
Okay, so you can contribute a level towards that. So that will bring it down to 11. Sorry, go ahead.
Do again. What is the spell trying to do?
Trying to fix the protections on her house so it doesn't fold up on us.
Yeah.
And figure out what all was altered.
So would survival work on that then?
It's a good skill.
It's a good skill. Yeah, actually, because this is setting a trap. So yes, actually, how many levels of survival do you have?
Just one.
Just one. Okay, so that'll knock it down to. Yeah, so that'll knock it down further. So we were at what? We were at.
So it's 10 now.
11, so 10. Yeah, so down to 10.
Yeah. Okay. So with a little help from Roshka and Shantano, and then Vor only has to spend a level 10 spell.
And I think you can also also include if you want. I'll give you as an asset there, a 1 level asset. The fact that Sezenua is kind of pointing crap out for you.
Oh, okay.
Well. So,
that's nice.
And,
it is my defender, so I get a +2. I forgot about that.
That is true. So it's actually it's down to 7.
Mm-hmm. Great. That's better. Yeah, that's much better. So then, yeah.
You're going to spend 7 points, brute force it.
I will spend 7 points to brute force it and just...
Okay.
I think it probably looks like Vor reaching up and yanking part of the weave of this spell out. The threads that weren't hers, yeah.
Okay. So first of all, this was not done by a weaver, but it was, you can tell, done by an apostate. So someone also who is not bound necessarily by particular rules. But yes, it looks like all he did is, when you finally look at it, is he made it look as though the spell looks the same. But all he did was invert it. The house folds up when the people who are supposed to be inside are inside.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you can actually, looking at that, you can then turn the spell back the right way up, and pull away the additional sort of kind of odd lock that he put on it, which there was this weird secondary dimensional thing that is sort of weird, sort of the way that he did it apparently, where he wasn't physically present when he did it, but he was present. Must have been present because there was present here but not here, co-located perhaps when he did it.
Hello.
And so you can do that.
Yeah, so War will angrily rip this piece of the spell out and just like let it fizzle off, and then looks back at everyone and goes, well, it's safe now. Or should be.
Cool. Let's start walking in.
Beck was just struck by the violence in which Vor tore the spell apart. He's got that just really wide-eyed look. Like, oh, it's like that now, huh? And then he's just going to sidle into
In a day.
He's just going to sidle into the house.
Yeah, Vor will also go in just to make sure that, just to see if her house has been trashed.
It has not been trashed.
Okay.
Everything is exactly where it is supposed to be. Which maybe is perhaps disturbing in and of itself. It actually looks slightly cleaner.
I mean, this...
Wow.
Yeah. Vor like runs a finger down like one of the tables and like notices that there's no dust on it, and then it's like, it just feels like sadistic. But not only did they just invert my spell, they didn't actually take anything, and they cleaned my house. Like, who does that?
Well, we know the answer to that question. He sort of admitted to it.
And this is just annoying. Like, this makes me want to go TP Manfred's house.
The evil hat did sort of kind of suggest that he did do something to my house, and the evil hat offered to tell me what it was, but I said no, because the hat is evil.
Do we want to go look at your house and figure out what happened?
I mean, I was there, didn't notice anything, so short of making a deal with the evil hat, which somebody wants to do that, be my guest.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking if they were going to take something from one of us, you're the one that's had good things worth taking in the past.
I mean, I don't know that anything in my current house is eminently stealable.
Do you remember if it was?
That's true. Probably not. You know what? I don't know.
Okay, well, I mean, we could check Shantano's rooms, and Mac, you've been at the foreman's place, right? So there's nothing wrong with the Jenga tower, right?
No, I took care of that.
Okay. Shantano, we want to go check your rooms?
Sure. I mean, it's just a cafe.
Well, but we don't want you to get sucked into another dimension or whatever the heck they were trying to do here.
I feel like it's already happened. Okay, sure. Let's go.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. We'll head to Shantano's rooms then, I guess.
Field trip time.
This is like the Saturnine version of Cribs.
Just like touring all of our houses.
Shantanu,
Yes.
would you like a roll, a card turn, or a despair?
I don't remember getting any of these offered to me.
No. Yours. He kind of, as far as we can tell, you know, actually he did leave some things out of place in your place, I think, if I recall correctly.
Oh, that's true, because I did notice there was something
Yeah.
up. I just then asked the evil hat about it, and the evil hat
Yeah.
was evil.
You know what? I
Big
have too much
surprise there.
joy. Let's get some despair.
Want some despair?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want some despair.
So,
A dream come true for other dog here.
I
I have permission.
Question is, can other dog hurt Shantanu more than Shantanu hurts himself?
no, I know the answer to that. It's not possible. Shantanu. You go up and you open the front door of the broken mirror. You've gone across the square. You've all gone across the square. You're getting ready to head into the to the broken mirror. You turn the handle. You open up the front door, and for a split second, you see toward the you see the coffee house. You see into the coffee house. You see. Let me go ahead and see if I get this right. Let me see. No, not there apparently. Let me go back here. Nope, it's not there. I have to search for a term. There it is. Remember Clellan? Clellan, the overly relaxed Kerouac-like proprietor of the Broken Mirror.
Yeah.
So you open the door and you see into the coffee house. You see near a sort of, there's a central little pillar in the coffee house that you see he is tied to, sitting in a chair. The cloth around his mouth is tied up, and he's just sort of like his head down. His head jerks up as the door opens, and the bell sounds. You hear it, ding, ding, ding. The bell tingles, and you see he goes, "Mm!" And there's an immediate whoosh. As all of the color in the room is immediately sucked toward the center of the room, him included. And this, with this whooshing noise, this the building cracks. You hear cracks along the building. Building's not crumbling yet. Well, not in the same way. But the whole building is turned gray and cobwebby and soulless as everything gets sucked and compacted into this little blue sphere that then drops to the floor, and you hear it plink and roll away as you see that the building has become an old, slightly crumbling edifice. No soul within. You all sort of feel this palpable sense that the soul of this cafe has been punched away somewhere else. And Clellan now lies somewhat shriveled in that chair tied to that pillar. His cap sort of falling off him. And I kind of feel like that might be a good place to call it for the night. But I will offer the option. Do you want to hang on and do the ritual, or do you want to wait until next time for that?
Wait till next time, because I would like to have a full party for that.
Fair enough. As full as we are able to. Okay. So, yeah, so this is what it ends. It ends with a big sort of ping. Anyone else want to get anything else in before we close it for the night?
Do you think Vor turns and looks at Mac, like behind Chandno as this is happening, and says, "Starting to see why you hate this guy."
Yeah, but I've got a plan for him.
All right, tell me more. And there's like whispering behind.
He's just going to, yeah. He's just going to hold up a couple of wicked keys.
Oh,
it's fair. Not a single wiki key has been used once in this campaign yet.
No, I mean not. I've considered it in the past, but I have never actually used one, and I have several as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how sometimes when when they launch like nuclear codes, there are two people that turn the key at the same time. I bet we could like get exponential power from these wicked keys if we were both to activate ours at the same time.
I think we could do that.
I don't know if I heard this, but I think I also now have an ability where basically I can get in anywhere. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm trying to find it. Where'd it go?
I think we were talking about trying to...
Yeah, one of my secrets is Mage's Path. You gain entry into an area you could normally not enter. Barriers and traps, both mundane and magical, level 60 or lower, so there's no consequence to you. No one ever knows how you get past them. The barriers themselves remain undamaged and undisturbed.
Since then there might be a heist, or a break-in in our future that involves that ability and some wicked keys, but we can plan that at a later date.
That sounds very heist-like.
I do have one question. About this. Gosh, what are those? The secret. I don't know, gods or whatever those things are that we have under
secret souls.
Yeah. Because they're all like under a specific deity like thing, right?
It's interesting. Sort of the way that they describe it. Let me see if let me go ahead and pull the key here, because that's where they describe it.
I'm wondering if I could use mine, but direct it at the cafe owner.
Ooh. So each soul has a soul guardian,
Right.
a spiritual entity, a conceptualized force rather than a simple entity, closer to a god or perhaps demigod than a being. Yeah, so there are soul guardians. Basically, everyone who has everyone who has a secret soul. It is basically everyone with that secret soul, that one particular secret soul. There are a number of different secret souls, but everyone who has that one is kind of under that guardian in that respect. And yeah, there are ways to call on it.
So would it be possible for me to call on it, but for them instead?
Well, yes, characters can call upon their soul guardian when they're in their time of greatest need. If they do, they gain the soul guardian's gift. The cost for invoking this power is 1 crux. It also reveals to all nearby the character's secret soul allegiance.
Okay.
Is that a thing? Is this your time of greatest need? Is this what you is this the time when you reveal your secret soul?
Well, I think this person is the only person I actually have connections with in the game. So subconsciously, I think it would be.
Do you think this is this is the time? Okay, let me could you send to me real quick before we reveal it outright? Could you send to me via the Zoom chat your secrets, which secret soul you have? Just so that I can. Gotcha. Thank you. I just wanted to see, yeah, if we were looking at it. Oh, okay. So. Interesting. So, do you want to direct that outward? Is there a thing where you want to use that involving Clellan, or is that something that you just want to do?
No, I want to do it involving Clellan specifically.
Okay.
You know, so give up the personal benefit for that.
Give up the personal benefit. Allow Clellan to essentially retreat into your soul. Basically, is what we're talking about. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To protect
Right.
him. Essentially.
Since what you specifically said, the soul is vanishing.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. No. So Clellan has had his soul knocked out of him. Okay. Yeah. No. If you want to use it for that, I don't see any reason why not. So, that would at least buy him... That would buy him at least more time. At least until sunset, if not... well, and also, given what you're doing, it might be... Yeah, there might be more to it. There might be more you could do to figure out a way to extend it if you need to. So... What does this look like when you do this?
Similar to how well, like when you see like the colors all going into that one thing, instead, like you see Clellan's color start to go into Chantineau, and instead of being absorbed into them, it's absorbed into Chantineau, and like another piece of Chantineau cracks and falls off, and that's MacLeod. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, so that actually gets redirected away from the little blue orb and into that bit of you that falls off. And his body disappears. So he is vanished. But you have now basically given him at least temporary. It's not exactly life support, but soul support, shall we say? Oh, that absolutely works. And so here's the thing: you have to, I think, in order to make this work. You must, you are revealing your secret soul, so it's maybe in something you say. In what way do you reveal your secret soul at this time to all those currently here present? Because that's part of it.
I feel like anyone who's looking at Shantanu, what's going on, since they're like broken glass, you know, kind of like. And kind of apropos to the name of where we are, it's like all of a sudden they're looking at a mirror, and the disco ball of shattered glass that is Shantanu, like instead of just seeing their normal body, all of a sudden you see like eyes reflected out of it, you know. It's like very, like anyone who knows anything about these. What are they called? Like, like these like deities knows
These guardians.
Yeah, that this is the eye of the guardian, specifically the eye.
Yes, this guardian is the eye. Everyone recognizes it when they see it, and I think that's a great place for us to call it if we're good with that. We have had our first secret soul reveal of the campaign. Awesome. Awesomely done. Awesome. Despair for you for that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
There we go.
And, that's in addition to anything that you're about to get. You got that despair for free. Not free. It was not free. But very cool, very cool. So we're going to go ahead and go around and do our joy and despair for this session, so that we can see how we're doing with that. So we're going to start again, unless you would like me to skip you. Wilde, do you want to start to see whether this if you want a joy or a despair for this session?
I think another despair. I think they probably would have hit them harder
despair
than they thought, you know.
Yeah.
Because they go around aloof, like they're wanderer and everything, that they have no home, no connection, everything. But
yeah,
this is like the one place that they would always return to. So even though they claim to never have a connection, they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More despair. More despair. Excellent. Excellent. And invoking that also, as a reminder, does cost 1 crux, so that's, you know, basically off of your XP. But you did it. You got it. You used it for him. He is safe. And now we will head over to Arras. Do we think Aroshka got any joy or any despair today?
I kind of want to say despair. I don't know if it's like really enough. I feel like Aroshka feels #bad about having judged Vor, and then Vor was sad. And then / also that I guess we weren't able to do anything to prevent the trap that Shantanu just experienced. that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I had foreknowledge of the fact that all of our houses were tampered with, and I still wasn't able to do anything about it.
Oh no!
Very sad.
No. All right. Yeah. We'll go ahead and give that there. So despair for you. And now over to Anino. Anino, do we think that Mac got a joy or a despair today?
No. I think that he did not earn any.
All right. And now over to Danielle. Danielle, do we think that Vor got a joy or a despair today?
What do you think, oh wise GM? Yeah, Vor's taking like an Uber to spare. This was she had a bad day. This is not great for her. Her house got tampered with. She doesn't really know how things are going to end with Mitterrand, and she feels bad about it. And Velosa is still avoiding her. It's not good.
Yeah, that's true. Despair all around then. Well, almost all around. Not quite all around. Mac is has successfully remained safely indifferent.
Just like his player.
Oh God.
Wow.
But so the Stanislavskian thing almost one would say no. So let's go ahead and go around then and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you and any final thoughts you have about this session or favorite bits or whatnot. And we shall, as we go in reverse order, we shall start with Danielle.
Ready? I'm Danielle. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at RyRacontor, although I am my account's currently private. That's because of some things that have happened recently. But if you follow me, chances are I will probably follow you back as long as you look like a cool person. And I'm not currently doing anything. I don't really have anything else to plug at the moment. And then as far as this session, I love anytime Vor has to interact with her exes. This is becoming one of my favorite emotional tropes of this game. And so, yeah, I love everything about her encounter. The card turn of the Whispering Lover and the Weeping Priest. And man, it's hard. Sometimes the cards flip and you're like, wow. So I loved everything about that. That was A+.
It was nuts. That was awesome though. That was really good. I enjoyed that scene. I enjoyed that scene a lot. Let's go over to Anino.
How's it going, folks? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. I have nothing else going on right now. So, follow me or don't follow me. I am, like Mac, and very indifferent. So, thanks for watching, though. You can find me here again, hopefully next week. We'll see what goes on. And that should be it.
Righto. My gods. Yes. Well, that's the thing is, Mac has been very much on top of things, actually. Also, this as far as sorting things out. So it's been very good. It's been very good. But now let us head over to Arras.
At least somebody in this group is on top of things. Hi, I'm Arras. I'm Animus Panthera, or Animus.Panthera, practically everywhere on the internet, but mostly on Twitter, where I love to talk about games. I'm also a real life zoologist and a cosplayer, so I also love talking about those things. The only place you can find me playing games on the internet is right here on Saturdays, playing Invisible Sun. Yay! I don't really have anything coming up, but we just wrapped up a pre-order campaign for my little micro publishing company's next book, which is by Ethan Kochak, and it's going to be really funny about newts and salamanders. If you like science, if you like funny books, check it out. There will be some for sale eventually. The pre-order was not the only chance. But yeah, that's me.
Yay!
Yay.
Are there any?
As for this game, so many things just happened. I'm overwhelmed with the number of things that just happened, but that was really, I feel like so many fun and interesting things. Well, fun for us, the players. Fun and interesting.
God, I hope so.
Are coming up. Maybe not fun for our characters, but fun for us. That's the important part.
Yes. Dear God, we hurt them because we love them. It's important.
Yay!
Believe me, this hurts me more than it hurts you. Okay. Oh God, no. All right, no. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm cutting that. All right. Boy. All right. Now let's, I'm just going to X myself quietly and just sort of crawl into the corner with my head down. But now let's head over to Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Yes, right now you can catch me here. It's about the only internet thing I'm doing. Yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff happened. I love seeing Vor. What was it? Channel her emotions through spell breaking.
Smash it.
And forcing Shantano into an emotional thing where they're the ones who are supposed to absorb the emotions. Yeah, had a great time. So yeah, hopefully you can catch us next time.
Awesome. All right, and that leaves me. I don't know who I am anymore. But for the next few minutes, I'll be pretending to be Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Wednesday nights right now, we have a short campaign that I'm calling Void's End happening. It is a space noir game cobbled together from 3 different systems that we've been having a good deal of fun with as we play a sort of a Frankensteinian version of Dirty Secrets / Durance / In a Wicked Age. But it's a murder on a distant space colony being investigated. And of course on Saturday nights, when we're available, we have this. And so I'm very much looking forward. I really enjoyed the session. And I like seeing things progress, and it felt like things are progressing tonight for me, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. And everyone was really good. Everyone was really good, and I really enjoyed seeing your characters do stuff. It's wonderful. Basically. So more soon, hopefully. But in the meantime, folks, when we hit the end card, let's see. I've been so my attention has been so drawn away. I hadn't been looking at anything. I'm going to send a raid over to somebody. Who is currently up? Let's see. We have Sarah Strange is doing stuff. Prax is doing stuff. Mare is doing stuff. Weave the Tail, Woody Mishi, Summer's doing stuff. Probably one of those people. We'll send a raid over to one of them Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.